the A-Lady Plus, Opera integrations, and Google's removal tool. This is MacVoices. This edition of MacVoices is supported by the new MacVoices Discord, available to all of our MacVoices patrons. Sign up and join in the conversation in your new favorite online group at patreon.com/MacVoices. Dave, when we get down the road, please don't let me miss mentioning what I showed you today. We'll get there, but it sort of relates to this. But before we get there, there's some non-Apple news, believe it or not. What a concept. This first one is something we've talked about for a while, and now it's true. It was rumored, now it's true. Amazon has announced an AI-powered Alexa Plus that they will be charging $20 a month for, or if you have Prime, it's free. Allegedly,
if you want Prime, or if you want this, it's cheaper to get Prime and not use any other feature, because this costs more than having Prime.
Yeah. Now allegedly this is much more conversational. It's much more like some of the capabilities that you hear about with ChatGPT, and I'm presuming that it will also have all the controls that that the A-Lady has for your smart home devices. So I have Prime, so I will have access to this. I'm sort of looking forward to just seeing how much of a difference it makes, not just in capabilities, but how I actually can use it and how I will use it. Anybody else?
Stop saying A-Lady?
Well, I don't know, but I don't know if it's that smart, because I don't.
It'd be kind of nice if it could get the context.
You kept saying that word.
Yeah, well, yes, I did, didn't I? Oops, sorry.
Alexa.
Yeah.
I whatever new version it is, I just hope she stops trying to sell me stuff.
We have some suggestions for you.
The plus is, I won't give you an ad after everything you asked me to do.
You can
I looked at it and I looked at it and started to look to figure out which Echo I have, because it says Echo 8, 10, 15, and 21. And
that's to start.
That's to start. It said it should be in almost every Alexa device. I said it.
I got one of the old ones, first and second gen.
Yeah.
Still works.
Yeah, I have, I think I have two A-Lady devices that this will work with, and the rest of my inventory, no.
Yep.
Okay.
My Sonos it should work.
Yeah. Okay, so I've been following the information that came out from their big event. And I look at what they're doing, what they're claiming they'll be able to accomplish with this. And I just keep feeling like it doesn't matter that Apple is pursuing a different path to go into the whole AI and grow their voice assistant product. They're falling behind. And I look at what you can get as someone who's paying for Amazon Prime, so you can get free shipping and watch whatever new show they have going on. And it's like, holy crap, this is stuff I've been asking for out of the S-Lady for years. And I don't feel like we're close to getting any of this.
Yep. And Jeff, I've been the one that has pointed out the privacy aspects and the concerns over that as a justification. It's getting harder and harder to make that. But
I appreciate the justification. But at this point, as far as the market's concerned, it doesn't matter because you can have all the privacy and security in the world, but if you can't do the basic things that you want to do that are already available on the competing products, regardless of how much of your information they scrape, for most people, it's not going to matter. They will eventually give up and go to the thing that works for them.
I agree completely. I do want to point out, though, that in the article, the demonstrator showed how, quoting, Alexa Plus can take action when prompted, like telling her about a kid's soccer schedule and adding calendar details and reminders based on it, all using fairly casual, natural language in an ongoing conversation. Okay, so that means that she, or in this case, you or I, would be telling the A lady and therefore telling Amazon where we're going to be, what we're going to be doing, giving away a lot of personal information. I'm with you completely on the market has spoken, and people don't seem to be concerned about this. I still, pardon me, I still wonder. I still wonder about giving any of these services outside of Apple. And again, we trust Apple, so maybe we're just naive. But if we're not naive, if it is accurate, how much information am I giving away? And is this going to be one of those situations where 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago, we were all checking in at places using Foursquare or whatever the hot app was?
Oh, good times.
Like,
well, yeah.
I was the mayor.
Yes, the mayor. Yes. Yeah. So I feel like I'm getting more and more paranoid, but I'm also passing everything through these little tests and thinking, okay, because I have to use Microsoft Calendar, Outlook Calendar for work, it knows things about me. Should that bother me?
It bothers me because most of us leave the A lady open for you to ask it anytime you want to ask it something. But do you wonder maybe it's still listening? Because there's times it gets kind of weird and kind of coincidental. You're having a conversation about something, and all of a sudden something shows up in your browser when you're on your computer. That's something you just talked about. So you got to wonder: is it listening to you? I don't know.
Well, Dave, it has to be because it's waiting for its trigger word.
Right.
It's waiting for its trigger word.
Right.
Yes. And the paranoia we have about the A lady device, the Echo devices listening to us, and then immediately turning that into ads for us. I'm pretty sure that Amazon is absolutely fine with us believing that, because that's much better for them than if we realized how horribly insidious what they're actually doing really is. The way that they are able to collect information and then parse that information to know more about you than you know about you is fracking terrifying. And they don't need to hear you to be able to feed you the ads that you think they've overheard.
Oh God, Jeff, I wish you hadn't brought this up.
It is downright scary. And you can already link your Google Calendars to your A-Lady account. So you already have a lot of control over those calendars through the Echo devices you have today. This is going to let you interact with that information in a more casual and potentially more useful way. Yep. The kind of thing that, boy, wouldn't it have been great if we could have done this with Safari a few years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Do you mean Siri?
See, I can't even keep the stupid thing straight anymore. Yes, Siri.
The S lady.
The S lady that I just totally blew it all the as long as I'm going to do it, Alexa, order a case of cream corn.
Great.
I just had 3 devices in my house ask for validation to order that. Alexa, stop.
I don't, I
like
feel
cream
I'm,
corn.
Well, apparently there's a case showing up at your house
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
although it may cost more because there's now a shortage of cream corn thanks to Jeff Gammon.
Yeah.
Mm. I feel like I'm becoming more and more curmudgeonly about some of these things, but I feel like they're questions that if you're not asking them, then you're just setting yourself up to be used. If you can answer the question and say, I am fine with it, then great. Jeff, I said I wish you hadn't brought this up because it brought back to mind the story. I'm pretty sure it was Target that started emailing someone, some female who it decided was pregnant, and it knew before she did.
Yikes.
Yeah, it's
And-
because she
Yeah,
was
I
using
remember
their
that.
app and it was tracking all of her purchases. And,
Right.
and yeah.
Yeah, and so you're probably right. Whether they're listening or not probably doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So, wow. Anybody here use Opera?
No, but that looks cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Opera adds Discord, Slack, and Blue Sky integration to browser sidebar. I played with this a little bit. I'm on Blue Sky, I'm on Discord, and I am on Slack. And it was interesting. I'm not sure that it's going to make me jump over to Opera as a regular user, but I have seen in several articles that praised this and said this is something that other browsers should consider doing. And so I guess my question became, all right, that's great, but at what point do you stop? How many services do you support? And how distracting is this going to be for a user if all of these other options are sitting there right off to the side, as opposed to maybe hiding inside a bookmark? And I know how you feel about bookmarks, Jeff, so you can laugh about that later.
I'll
What
laugh
does this
now.
do for you?
I live in bookmarks.
Yeah, I do too.
What is it that this feature does?
It basically is an integration so that Slack, Discord, and Blue Sky are right there, a click away at any given moment.
So
So
how's that different
it's
from a
like having
bookmark?
an app embedded in the browser as opposed to having a tab.
Or
If-
as opposed to
if-
having the app running itself separately.
So Marty and I have a better grasp on this because we're both using Workona, which has had integrations like this since its inception. So assuming Opera's doing it in a similar fashion, it's not about, hey, I've got the tab open. It's that I've now integrated all of the different services that I've used or that I am using into an interface where I can access anything that I need at any point and cross-link stuff. And if you're using a bunch of productivity apps, then you've got all that stuff linked together. So that you have this more seamless environment that you're working in. Go ahead, Marty.
Yeah, I tried to set it up before the show after reading the article and found it fairly easy to set up. There's some questions I'll ask Chuck after the show about it, but the idea of having it all within a browser interface for me it could be distracting because I'm constantly bouncing. It's easier for me to bounce back and forth, but it could also be a great productivity hack if I want to get something from one of these services and bring it into a browser environment. Because one thing I always have open on one of my displays is a browser. So having it all built into one is a positive for me.
Doing this with
You
productivity
can run it
tools.
in any browser. What is it doing that's beyond what Safari or Chrome does?
This is where I can't answer because I haven't played with what Opera's doing because I'm not an Opera user.
And I've played with it a little, Jim. I don't know if I'll be able to answer Marty's questions, but it's just the idea that it is integrated. And so
But those things are web pages. That's what a browser is web pages
Yeah.
are integrated into the web browser. So
Well,
how does that get me over just opening Slack in Safari or Chrome?
it just feels like a different experience. I guess the best way to say it, a much more easily accessible experience.
I think it's more like if you're using tabs and you're equating it to just tabs, it would be like if you had transient tabs. So you have tabs that you never see until you actually need them. So it'd be more like a tab that pops out of a button from the side and then disappears again, as opposed to being a tab that's strung along the top. And whether or not that's a useful thing for you, well, but at the same time, keep in mind, I'm speculating here because I haven't tried this.
Yeah,
I mean, they're not really saying. I mean, it's like, oh, hey, we can open web pages in our web browser.
Well, depending on your browser, that might actually be something to brag about.
okay, so I'm hating what I'm about to say, but Jeff. Well, first of all, Jeff, you and Marty have used Workona, so I don't know if this feels like it's similar to that or not. But I'm thinking about the way that Teams has tried to integrate Excel, Word, and PowerPoint. Now, everyone knows I'm not a Teams fan, and I think the integrations, the way they've done it, are terrible. But I do understand the concept behind it. And if it were executed well, it could be very advantageous. And that's sort of the way I see this, that I haven't used it enough to know whether I have an opinion as to whether it's done well, but it's done and it does integrate better.
Excel and Word are not web pages.
They do have web-based versions of them.
They can
Is
be.
that what Teams
Yeah.
integrates?
Oh
Kinda.
God, don't.
Yeah, don't start.
I mean, I've got Safari open now, and I've got 50 websites that are integrated into my Safari right now.
Okay, so
SCLACK, and now Slack is integrated into my Safari.
well, okay, Jim, that's a great question though. Do you find the Slack experience, the Discord experience? What was the other one? I've lost it now.
Blue Sky.
Blue Sky, thank you. Do you find those web experiences equal to their respective apps?
Well, the one nice thing about an app is if you're using it a lot, you can just click in the dock and, rather than getting lost in the 50 Safari windows that I do have open. But yeah, other than that, I mean, it's the same. I mean, like the Slack app, all it is a Chromium browser inside an app. It's Electron. So it's essentially a web browser that does nothing but integrate Slack. Same thing for Discord.
I would tell anybody, go try it. I mean, if you use any one or two or three, or all three of those services, go and try it. Opera is a decent browser. I've used Opera on and off for different tasks, and it does. There are a lot of great things about it. So good.
Yeah,
Sorry, Marty.
I just the problem I was going to ask you about, I just solved. I opened up Opera, and when I was trying to load all the different programs or all the different services, I still wouldn't see Discord, it wouldn't see Blue Sky, and it wouldn't see Slack.
Same here.
So I closed out of it, went into the show. We're doing the show. I opened it up, and now those options showed up. So I don't know why it didn't recognize them. They're added as little icons along the left side of your Opera browser. So instead of having to go through bookmarks to find it or do it, I can click right on the little icon, and it turns out to be kind of a push out panel that comes out with the information, and you click on it, it closes it back up.
the way you're describing it and the way that article really describes it too. I mean, it sounds to me like it's just a limited bookmark feature that has bookmarks that I can't change.
Could be. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Go try it. If it's for you, go
So-
try it. And if it's not, then
I mean, I use the favorites bar in Safari, and I can customize it to my heart's content, and I use the heck out of that. And also if you say new, well, that comes up right there. So I don't think I need a special sidebar with, maybe if it was configurable and I could put things into it, but that kind of seems the same as Safari's favorites bar.
Right. And I use favorites too, but not for services. Social media services or services like the ones that are
I do.
being put here. Well,
yeah. Doesn't mean you're right or wrong, Jim.
No.
Or that Marty's
But,
right or wrong.
yeah.
Just different ways to do it.
Yeah.
I might push back there just a little bit on. I won't say it for. Well, some people disagree with me on Discord and Blue Sky, but Slack. I mean, Slack is very much a business tool that is in widespread use, and so the ability to have it as part of my browser would definitely be advantageous.
But
if
Chuck, the thing that I'm pushing back at is if I'm right, and this is just a bookmarks feature. If they said, well, we now have built-in fixed bookmarks for these services, that's, calling that integration is, it seems like it's just a huge inflation of what the feature is.
Hopper's not the first company to do this. So clearly it's a feature that even if it doesn't resonate with you or me, it's resonating with enough of users that it's worth doing for these companies. And I can see the value, like at least for productivity tools, like with Slack, not having to leave the window or the tab that I'm currently in and having like a separate slide out tab, like a drawer. Oh, you remember the old days with macOS with drawers? I love that.
What happens when you click on one of these? Does it open in a new window or?
No, it slides out like a drawer.
Yeah, well,
so
Slack appears in this slide out?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
That's how it works. So you have
the whole Slack interface appears in this tiny little slide out.
Well, it's a slide out window, and then you just sign into your workspace, and it has all of your workspaces.
Jim, it doesn't slide out like this. I mean,
it's a second quarter of the way.
It slides out. Whoops! Shoot! I just triggered the camera. I mean, I don't want to say, we don't want to waste too much time on this. So I want to move us on. But look, if you think it's for you, great. And if it's not, then don't use it. Just like any one of 10,000 other applications or features in different browsers or different software. Right. It's just an interesting experiment. And again, it seems like it's gotten good reviews from the folks that have tried it. So take a shot. Since we've been talking a lot about security and all, Google says now it will let you remove your personal data.
Yep.
From search results. So do we believe it?
Maybe nice of them.
Is it really doing what it says? Or okay. I need to come up with a better way to ask my question. But the idea is I'm questioning if what Google is offering is really giving people what they think it is. And I think also Google gets to decide if they're going to hide search results for your information or not. So you have to ask them, hey, would you please do it, and tell them why you need them to do it. And then they decide if that's a good enough reason.
And let's assume for a second, Jeff, that they do hide it from search results. Does that mean they remove it?
I would assume it just means it's hidden.
Yes. I mean, the headline makes you believe it would be removed, but it says removed from personal information from search results. So does that mean they're keeping it and that you could bring it back at a later date, or that it could be revealed at a later date? A lot of information on this that I want more details on. The idea that they're offering it plays well to the privacy crowd, but I think we need a deeper dive into this. Shoot. Okay, so I just realized how far down the rabbit hole we're going here, as far as time goes. So, and I definitely want to.
Chuck, sorry, I'm dragging us back into that. I'm actually looking at Google's thing, and boy, they sure who did the piece, Mac Rumors, they sure limited what they wanted to talk about in this, because the rest of it is actually, I think, the bigger part. From Google piece, what little I've read so far, that hey, you can have information hidden. That was like and oh, by the way. So this is a refresh to their system that lets you look at information about yourself and let you at least take some sort of action to have out-of-date information removed. So like if there's 3 addresses for you, you can have the old addresses not show up as search results for you. So the big thing is they're making it easier to access features that they already had, and they're enhancing that a little bit. So if you're logged in with your Google account when you're web browsing in a Chromium browser, then you have quicker access to the tools that they already have available to let you limit information about yourself and update incorrect information. And you can also set up alerts so that you're getting updates when information is changed or added, I guess. I don't know. So
yeah.
Again, this isn't as big a thing as it seems, because it's not like new stuff. The new thing is, hey, we're giving you easier access to tools that we already have, which is good. They should do that.
Oh yeah, yeah. I want to know how effective the tools are at removing or hiding, and what the details are. Do they hide them for a week, a month, a year, in perpetuity? And how do I go about resetting that if for some reason I decide I want to reset it?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Good questions.
Yeah.
But yes, being able to more easily request Google hide information that should be hidden about you, that's good.
Yeah.
I don't want them showing information. Like, I don't want them giving my home address or my personal phone number.
Yeah, if there's anybody that has information to hide, Jeff, it's you.
True.
Howdy.
About a lot of things.
No, I'm assuming it would take you less than a minute to do a Google search and get my address, my current address.
Same here.
Oh yeah. Hey, go to what is it, whitepages.com. You can get a lot of stuff for free, and if you're willing to shell out a couple bucks, you can get a lot more information on people's where they live, where they have lived, who's most likely in their family group, I mean, it is a little frightening.
I'm looking myself up right now.
Riveting.
Funny you said that. I just did that with myself and removed all the information so I don't exist anymore.
And yeah, good. But wow, look at that. There's all this information, and like I did a search on myself, and holy crap. There's
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at information. I'm like, this is wrong. It is so out of date, so wrong, and anyhow, I could go on.
You just keep correcting it, Jeff. We'll keep putting bogus information in about you.
Yeah.
Thank
exactly.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, Jeff, just to be clear though, when you say it's wrong, are you saying objectively wrong or just out of date?
It's out of date, and
Oh, that could happen.
yeah, we'll just go with out of date.
Okay. Yeah. Because, I mean, it's one thing for them to be, look, no, let's stop joking for just a second. It's one thing for it to be saying something that is objectively wrong about you, and especially something that would be detrimental to getting a job or staying employed or whatever. It's another one just to say, I used to live, in Timbuktu when I really did, but that was 25 years ago. So,
Yeah, well, if I looked at the full report, I'm betting I would find objectively wrong information. Because when I've done other searches, not white pages specifically, I routinely see objectively wrong information linked to me.
It's scary.
Mm-hmm.
visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with MacVoices Magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices, or by making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you Mac Voices. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CacheFly at cachefly.com.